It is crazy how much money could be saved if we just understood the why behind a recommendation. What am I talking about? Just one example, okay? One example. I heard about a guy who's running 2 gallons of boron per acre. 2 gallons an acre. Now, I believe in boron, don't get me wrong. It has its place for sure. I've recommended it for both corn and soybeans. When it makes sense, do it. But there's something to understand about running boron, especially when you're trying to run that much, 2 gallons. If you don't have enough calcium, you're not going to get the full effect. So it took a soil test that looked at plant available calcium, not the standard, not your base saturation, but truly a plant available calcium. The guy's problem wasn't really just boron, it was calcium. Address his plant available calcium. Now he was getting where he wanted to on his tissue test. He was getting where he wanted to on boron, not on 2 gallons, but now just on 3 quarts. And of course, he got all the other benefits of having enough plant available calcium. So we got to understand the why behind things. And sometimes we can save money not by adding something else. In this case, we added calcium. Sometimes it's by just not overdoing something different. I talked recently about the phosphorus to zinc ratio. Maybe you've seen the Liebig's law of the minimum, this barrel where, hey, what's your lowest stave on the barrel? What nutrient is it? If we address that, if that's your limiting factor, we aren't going to leak out so much yield. And eventually we address all these different limiting factors, you're getting closer and closer to your yield potential. But sometimes the lowest stave is your limiting factor because we're just doing too much somewhere else. Maybe we're putting out too much phosphorus. Now we have a zinc problem. Or maybe boron's our limitation, but we ain't going to address it until we address calcium over here. So I just encourage you, one, get a soil test that's measuring plant available nutrients. Absolutely. But whatever the rec is, understand the why behind it. Or, hey, this one's really key. Ask your guy, when does this advice not work? Because a lot of things work. Gosh, it seems like everything works sometimes, somewhere, right? But we need to understand, hey, when will this not work? Because if your guy can't tell you that, how's it going to be consistent for you? In fact, hey, I'll go first. I talk about WEOC all the time. If you get your WEOC relative to how heavy your dirt is, if you get it high enough, man, it's incredible what can happen. When does WEOC not work? I've seen it on a soil test. I didn't think I'd see the day, but I have seen where otherwise really high WEOC wasn't high enough. I'll tell you when it wasn't high enough. In this particular soil test, this guy had 150, 200 pounds of something called organic nitrogen in his soil. So you wouldn't see it with a regular nitrate, regular ammonium test. But when does WEOC not work? When is high WEOC not enough to do everything I say it can do? When your manure history, usually what would cause this, is so high that you're not going to get the effects of high WEOC, because carbon and nitrogen, that's another relationship in the soil. Your N is just so high, you aren't getting the value. So just thinking, sometimes it's not about the limiting factor being what we're low in. It's about what are we so high in we don't maybe need to address the low if we just took care of the excesses and save some money in the process.